why do the people who run this matrix, the ancient bloodlines, why do they have to be very conscientious in their evil? They have to work very hard. Why do they have to do this? There's a reason for this. You see, those who run this matrix, they have their own spiritual process. They have their own way. And they worship an entity called Lucifer, who is a very powerful negative entity. If Lucifer were to appear to people in the third dimensional body, he would appear as an angelic type of being. He would look very angelic. And ultimately, they worship him, and they have a certain process required. You see, they have to be at least 90% evil in their actions. At least 90% on the path of separation. And how they do this is they have to be able to do something called riding the goat. Now, what is riding the goat? They have to be able to grab Lucifer by the horns and use his powers. If they don't dominate Lucifer, then Lucifer will dominate them. And ultimately, this is the path which is a service to self. You know, it's all about being selfish and worshiping your ego and so on. So, since they're on this path, they have to be able to dominate Lucifer. And in order to do that, they have to be at least 90% evil in their actions. If they don't be 90% evil, they become what is called devil's rejects, which is they get used by Lucifer and then thrown out. And a lot of people who do a lot of negative criminal activity, they're ultimately like devil's rejects. They create a lot of negativity, but they haven't created enough negativity to descend into something else, a more demonic form. So these people who rule this world, they have to be at least 90% evil. And if they don't meet that criteria and they become devil's rejects, what ultimately happens is this. They have to then reincarnate and experience all the suffering they cause onto others. So all the evil they did onto others will then happen to them. And they don't want that to happen. That will be very jeopardizing to them. So they have to be at least 90% evil in order to take on a new form when they reincarnate. Now, these people, when they do meet the cut and they descend into a new form, what they become is, I'm going to use mythology and symbolism here. So what they become is, in Eastern traditions, you can see this. They become what are called like Rakshasas, Yakshas, Asuras, which are very powerful evil spirits. And these powerful evil spirits, they exist here on Earth, but we just can't see them. And the really powerful ones, they require their assistance. So these people who walk the path of separation, they require these powerful Asuras assistance. So they make certain sacrifices to them, ultimately human sacrifices, and they make these sacrifices to them in order to gain knowledge that they have. Because these evil spirits, these powerful evil spirits, they lived a very, very, very long time. And they don't want to turn around back and return to the light, because their soul will eventually have to split into many different bodies and then experience all the evil that they've done unto others in order to return back to the light. So they don't want to do that. So these entities who are evil, these Babylonian evil gods, they lived a very, very, they live a very, very, very long time. They're essentially immortal because they won't turn back to the light. So they're living for a very long time, that maybe millions of years some of them live. And it's hard to believe for most people, but this is very much true. So they have to be very conscientious in their evil and commit as much evil acts as possible and be at least 90% evil, or else they will then reincarnate and experience all the evil they've done unto others, and they don't want that. So these people, they work very hard on that. And they won't stop at all. Like, they day and night just constantly working towards creating as much chaos and evil and havoc on the planet as they can. And they believe that we are reaching a certain point where a lot of natural catastrophes will happen, because when there's a lot of evil on the planet and it reaches a certain peak, a lot of natural catastrophes happen. And they strongly believe that. And that's why a lot of them, they built bunkers, because these evil spirits would then warn them if certain natural catastrophes will happen in the specific areas that they're in. And then they'll retreat to their bunkers so they're not affected by these natural disasters. So these spirits will reveal to them certain things because they're making sacrifices to them to gain this certain knowledge. So that's why there's a lot of chaos that they're emitting on this planet, because they don't want to be left behind and have to experience the evil that they've done unto others. So they need to really work hard towards creating as much misery and suffering as possible so they can descend into something newer. Okay, peace.